So good morning, I'm John White. I work for the Forest Service. I'm the fuel specialist here for the Island Park area on the Caribou-Targhee National Forest. And I'm here today with Bart Hogan. Bart, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm, like John said, Bart Hogan. I am the prevention technician here on the Caribou-Targhee, based out of Island Park here. And I will be working in prevention, mitigation, and education.
Great, thanks Bart. So we're here in Island Park and we're going to be working in this small stand of lodgepole pine trees here. And our purpose today is to walk around and identify the trees that we feel like are contributing to an increase in fire behavior. And we want to reduce that fire behavior because of the values at risk that we have nearby. We have Ponds Lodge here and the Island Park Mayor's office nearby, and so we want to reduce the fire behavior to make sure that those structures don't burn down. So we'll be identifying some trees that we're going to be removing, and we'll take you through a tour here in just a minute. You see here in front of us we got a forest floor that's full of dead trees and branches on the ground that have fallen over time, maybe from heavy snowfall. And this is really contributing to the surface ground fuel that is going to contribute to fire behavior. And so by cleaning a few of these branches and smaller trees off the ground and moving them to another area, we are reducing the chances of fire spreading. This tree here that we see has fallen down and it's cracked and is providing more not only surface fuels but also a part of a ladder fuel. It's off the ground, and it can allow fire to grow up a little bit, maybe even get it into the next tree next to it. So we will flag this tree and cut that down and remove it from this area.
So John, what you're saying is this tree cannot be saved?
That's right. Well, the tree is dead right now, and so Bart, if you want to go ahead and flag that tree, we'll go ahead and cut that and remove it from this area.
Did you notice the masterful way he flagged that tree? That was excellent.
Good job, Bart.
All right, and a bow.
So what we have in front of us here is a lodgepole pine tree that is suffering from mistletoe disease. And you can tell that by all the numerous branches at the bottom, at the base of the tree here. You can see branches just going every which direction. And so this is a major fire hazard, because fire can very easily creep along the ground, and once it gets to this tree, it can very easily move up these dead branches, the smaller dead branches, into the larger dead branches, and then eventually possibly up to the rest of the tree, the canopy, and from there possibly move into another tree. So this is a tree that we would mark as pretty hazardous, and I might even remove this tree. This would be a tree to cut down. It's a larger tree. But it's a tree that serves quite a big hazard as far as fire mitigation goes. So what we're looking at here is a branch from a lodgepole pine tree, and we have mistletoe on this branch. And so you can see this yellow branching, these shoots. It's actually it's a disease that lodgepole get around here, and pretty common. This is dwarf mistletoe. There's many different species of it. And I wouldn't be able to tell you exactly what species it is, but on a lot of our lodgepole pine trees across Island Park, we will have mistletoe attached to these trees, and it will spread from tree to tree very easily, and in some cases it will form large branches at the bottom of trees and creating a large fire hazard. This will eventually weaken the tree and may cause it to die eventually in the future after other diseases or insects have taken advantage of the fact that it has been weakened. So this is an issue that we should all be aware of here in Island Park.
So if we find this on one of the branches of our pine tree, we should probably take that branch off.
You should take the branch off. You know, if you have a lot of it, it probably wouldn't be a bad idea to remove some of the trees as well, to you know, create a break from one tree to the next, because these spores, they're actually shoots in here. They're spores. They shoot from one tree to the next, and the more room you give them, the farther they have to go to travel to the next tree, the less opportunity they will have to be able to continue growing and spread from there.
Well, right here we have a 4 or 5 trees that are dead. We can look up the tree and of course see that there's no green branches. We can look at the tree, there's the bark peeling off, and yeah, this is what we're looking for firewood. But it's a good idea to remove this stuff because it's more susceptible to firebrands and stuff like that. So we'll flag these trees here, meaning that we will cut those later down the road. There's also some smaller ones in here that we can also get rid of.
Now, would you say one of the reasons that we have so many dead ones here is because they're competing for the same sunlight in the canopy because they're so close together?
Yeah, that's correct. And yeah, mistletoe will cause a lot of this too.
Okay.
They get choked out. When trees get too close together, like you were just saying, there's no sunlight. The trees grow up small and skinny. As you can see in this stand, there's quite a few skinny trees. If we get this stuff opened up, the trees will actually get bigger around and actually be a lot healthier. Let's see. Got a dead one over here. This one's still got a little green in it, but it's close to death.
So put it out of its misery.
Put it out of its misery.
There you go.
It's not going to last but a year or two.
Yeah.
And yeah, same with this tree. This one's growing next to a fir tree, and if we remove this, there'll be more sunlight for this fir tree to get bigger, taller, and much more healthy.
So we have, we're in a stand here, lodgepole pine, but even within this stand of lodgepole pine, we actually have other species amongst us of trees. So this one here is a spruce, more than likely an Engelmann spruce. You can feel the needles are really sharp to the touch. You can't really, grab them without getting pinched. So this is a spruce tree, which is pretty common in this area, and we will continue to allow this tree to grow. To provide for diversity. We like to have a lot of different types of trees in our backyards, so we're going to leave this guy. If we look down here, this is a fir. This is actually a a subalpine fir, and you can tell the branches the needles are pretty easy to the touch. They won't sting you as the other tree does. And so we're going to leave this guy here as well, so that we again have a little bit more diversity on our forest.
Okay, so looking around, we got this smaller lodgepole. It's dead, so we're going to flag this one to get rid of. And we can look out here. There's a bunch of other smaller lodgepole. This is dead. We're going to get rid of that. And these are really tall and skinny lodgepole. Probably thin those out so we'll get more sunlight down to the ground. They're closer to some healthier trees here, so I'll just get rid of a few of these. Another dead one back behind. Yeah, there's quite a few dead smaller trees here that probably got choked out from not enough sunlight.
So the point is that if you don't keep your trees from getting too thick, they'll naturally choke each other out, and so you'll end up with a bunch. So you're better off to have a healthy forest is to not let it get too congested with trees. And so you either take out the older ones that are sick, to allow the young ones to come up, or you take out a lot of these smaller ones that aren't that are trying to fight for a little bit of space, and get those out so that you have more breaks in the canopy so that the trees can be healthy. Is that right?
Right, that's correct. And if we do open this up, the trees will also get larger around. You'll have a lot more shade out there, but an evenly spaced area. So there's quite a few trees here that need to be removed. This one's dead. And looking at these two trees, I would probably, they're really close together, I'd probably take out one of these trees and I'd look at which one's probably healthier. And it looks like this one's healthier. I'd probably take this tree out here.
Okay.
So right here we have a nice healthy lodgepole, but as you can see it has a lot of ladder fuels, as we talked about earlier before. And instead of just taking this tree out, we can go up to the tree and limb that tree up about 6 feet. So if fire does come, it's not going to go up the tree.
We're here at the end of our tour. We've walked around and we've flagged a bunch of trees. You can see Bart is continuing to flag more trees as I talk here. So just wanted to kind of summarize what we've been talking about here, just to reiterate and let you guys know that this is a wildland-urban interface project. We are trying to reduce, again, the fire behavior to the structures that are nearby. So allow the firefighters to get in, to be able to safely extinguish that fire, or at least make sure that the fire is on the ground, that they can eventually put it out and put a ring around it. And so we try to do this on the Forest Service surrounding these homes to try to reduce that risk to homes or to other structures, to other values at risk. And so that's what we're asking folks here in Island Park to do as well on their properties. It's the fire mitigation that we do is only so good as the fire mitigation that you guys can do on your property. What we're trying to avoid here is what happened in 1988, where those large fires in Yellowstone National Park burned millions of acres, and it was through this same type of environment. We're just down the road, really, from Yellowstone National Park, and it was lodgepole pine trees that burned a lot in that fire as well. And so we're trying to reduce that risk, prevent those large destructive fires this close to houses. It can happen out in the woods, and that will happen and will continue to happen out in the woods, far away from these values at risk, and we're okay with that. But where we are next to these houses, we want to reduce that risk. So whatever work you guys can do around your house to allow the fire to settle down and to get to a point where we can safely extinguish that fire around your house, to save your house, to protect it, that you'll be doing us a great service. And so we appreciate all the work that you've done. Thank you very much.